Right on! Right on! I'm toast. Hammer time! Right on! I'm toast. Ride on. Ride on.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Europe race. I'm Nathan Guerra, coming at you from ZCL Studios here, and it looks like the riders in the A and the B and the C category are about to get going here. Well, for the C's, they're about to get going. We got the A's out on course, actually, over in the volcano. We're going to be doing counterclockwise out on the volcano for 21 miles, 34 kilometers out there today. So we'll get right into the racing action. There is a lot of individuals signed up today for the race. It is a part of the Zwift Academy, so you should see a whole bunch of riders on the right hand side of the screen from all over the world with the little ZA badge next to their name. You can see here Mr. Chris Loke from Innovation actually does have an example for us, as well as the OPEC over here. And then it looks like we do have a Parker from the BRT also giving an example of what it is to have that ZA badge next to their name. The Zwift Academy that is currently taking place. And so up toward the front though of this race, there are a whole lot of riders that have made the initial break in the group, but each time that they come around for the counterclockwise out on the volcano course, they do have this little incline that kicks into a solid 6-7% gradient, and usually this is the place that is used to try and break things apart out on course. James Hodges, actually from the KRT team, currently holding down a couple of jerseys too out on course. I wouldn't be surprised, did he actually race the XRS race right before this in order to grab those? But Hodges there on that purple Tron bike in the fastest lap kit, as well as it looks like a KOM, and maybe looking to grab the fastest lap out on the volcano as well. We'll wait for the data to come through for the leaderboard there. 6.9 watts per kilogram, 7 watts per kilogram coming from James Hodges there out of the UK, 161 beats per minute. We do have social media integration with the race today. If you would like to jump into the broadcast with any kind of chat or comments, or even a picture of your Zwift setup or any other pictures relevant to the world of Zwift racing, riding, or Zwift Academy, you can go ahead and do so by tweeting at ZCommunityLive, at ZCommunityLive, and you'll be able to jump right on in to the broadcast today. We did see a couple of comments actually already coming through over at Zwift's Facebook. We are live currently over on Twitch, Facebook, Mixer, as well as YouTube. And for all the videos on demand, you can head on over to Zwift Community Live's YouTube. It's just youtube.com/Zwift Community Live for all of the replays of our races, workouts, group rides, and racer focuses that we do have. It does look like this group did split a little bit that time through the volcano. We did see those attacks up into the orange numbers that we usually see on the attacks up and over the top of that climb each time into the volcano. And looking through here, we do see Dempster here coming from the BRT team out of Belgium, and it is then 8 seconds back to McCloskey Lambert here and then it will be F. Kit, and then Lloyd just a little ways back. Jay Lloyd here. So it is 3 riders trying to make the chase. Not sure they're going to see the front end of this race again, though. 4.2 watts per kilogram here coming from McCloskey. Moving forward, it looks like it's 12 seconds of going out very quickly, traveling about 30 miles per hour. 27 here from the chase group, so not going to be seeing the front end of this race anytime soon, I don't think, but their goal may be to hold off some of the chasers there. I do believe this is the proper back end of the race, though it does look like some of the C category has been able to jump in to the course here. I think they did start about 6 minutes, I believe, after the A's actually, and are now chasing them down 1.6 miles in. So just on their first lap, the A's have already completed one out there. I am seeing a well-known figure out on Zwift actually in this massive multiplayer online training community. It is Mr. Brett Boniface actually from ODZ, coming out of Canada, right along with a Gagnon like a canyon is showing up, and it looks like ODZ has a couple of their big hitters showing up today, looking to try and take down the KISS Europe race on this Thursday, September the 7th actually. So we'll see if he can make that happen. Big race live or Zwift Community Live. Go 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 Team ODZ Racers. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the tweet coming from. It looks like Team ODZ is definitely watching today and cheering on their racers. So, and they do have, it looks like, a couple of the big hitters to be watching out for. Definitely Brett Boniface and Gagnon. Both of them have won quite a few races out on Zwift actually. I'm going to go ahead and check out ZwiftPower.com real quickly to see what they have done as of recently from Team OTZ. We also have MT Johnson. Actually, Johnson, I believe, was the rider with the big upset last week on the downhill on the Watopia Hilly reverse course. So not only do we have a couple of the old school big hitters, but we also got one of the new school, MT Johnson, that we haven't seen a lot of racing from. 72 races out on Zwift, but now not a lot of racing last winter in the likes of Mr. Boniface and the rest. Recently though, over the summer and late spring, MT Johnson has jumped in and seen a lot of wins and podiums actually in a few KISS Europe races, as well as it looks like WBRs, a lot of WBRs and ODZ throwdowns in their group rides. So Matt Johnson over the summer really showing what he's got, it looks like here. But old schoolers like Gagnon and Boniface have quite a few, 135 races under his belt here from Mr. Alexandre Gagnon. And a lot of those races obviously from last October all the way through January. Then we do have Brett Boniface, who was unstoppable, it seemed like, for a while out on Zwift. We are seeing 206 races from Mr. Brett Boniface, and looking through here, FTP of 323. Recently jumping back into the racing just today, actually. Last race he's done out on Zwift was back on June 15th, actually. So it looks like bringing it back, getting some motivation maybe here by jumping back into the races. And it looks like lots of W's though all the way through May in his ramp up into the road season. Boniface took almost a win every race he jumped into in the month of May. There was a break in there as well back in March, but all the way from February through March, I know that he was using almost double races a day. So there is some days where you see 2, even 3 races under his belt in order to get the hours in and the intensity that it demands for real life road racing. So good to see the ODZ crew showing up out here today and representing. KRT though is in full force, I believe. I do believe I did see Mr. Tim Cartwright also. So Cartwright versus Boniface Gagnon. And then we do have as well James Hodges out there coming from the KRT team. So KRT there showing up in force, trying to, it looks like maybe trying to take it down from the BRT team, is this actually off the front here with about 3 seconds there. A little bit of attack there coming from Parker. I thought he was a left rider actually with that gap already, but doesn't look like it's going to go much of anywhere. Strzezinski there from Team Poland does pull it right back in, and the rest of the group right along with him. But Tim Cartwright is out there from the KRT team. Alexis Luge was recently announced as a rider to be participating in the CVR World Cup over in France, so be watching out for him to try and show down what he's got here in the virtual environment. Fleetwood's there for Vision Cycling. Oxenham and Frank Garcia, though, are out there on a sprinter's course for Garcia, so Oxenham may be looking to try and set up Mr. Garcia for that sprint, as we do know he does have a solid kick to the line when he wants to throw down, so we'll have to see. Go Team ODZ, Mitchell is saying, and we are seeing stream on stream coming from Mr. BJ Alfonso. I believe BJ is currently riding in the B category. I'll have to double check on that, but yeah, VJ I believe is streaming, maybe currently to Facebook or Mixer, but good to see you out there kicking out the stream as well. Brolio Alfonso, the director sportif over at Team PTZ, so be watching out for Team PTZ out there as well. If you're unfamiliar with the world of Zwift racing, some of you might be asking, what is going on here? What am I watching? And just the world of Zwift in general. These are actually all real people on real trainers on real bikes putting out real power. So just the communication in order to control these avatars in the game is actually coming from the power in people's legs as they push the pedals on their bikes at home. They're actually communicating wattage into this game, and so that wattage then is pushing the avatars forward at a pace similar to what they would be doing in real life, maybe a little bit faster as they're in this group, and the group is traveling extremely fast right now, but kind of similar to real life, where in real life if you have a group of riders who are all working together and people at the front are taking the headwind on, and you can sit in the draft, it starts ramping up that speed more and more and more. And so these riders, each and every one of them then are looking for a draft here, a lot of them in the pack here, but are definitely putting out a real effort. 172 beats per minute here coming from Peckover. Then we do have Andvik here as well. No hurry monitor on him out of Norway here, but definitely some wattage there at 298 or so. Dempster there 157 beats per minute, right along with 282 watts coming from the Belgian riders legs here from Team BRT. Looking to set up correctly at the front end, or at least well at the front end of the pack here, trying to maybe grab a good position before the attacks actually start. Now we do have Kyle Augustine here from the Innovation there, 154 beats per minute. Strong sprinter, maybe looking to just hang on to the pack as they make their way through the volcano here. As the attacks do start, they're going to want to grab the wheels of those who are trying to get away and not allow them to do so. At least for the sprinters, they're going to want to keep it all together. They are confident in their ability to come to the line and make the last second attack out of the pack. And so we are seeing Garcia right along with Kyle. They're set up well in the positioning through this climb, but it is an uphill battle though to the finish line on the volcano course, and it can be extremely difficult to try and win a sprint out here with just a full-on sprint from the pack is a lot of times not always going to be working out. With 6 laps to go out here, Allenby now and Cartwright definitely right along with Boniface, they've got the kind of kicks into that final climb to be watching out for. I think that might outdo the sprinters with how long they can hold on to that high power forward. Jonathan Abbott saying Brett Boniface is racing. We are in for a treat. Go Team ODZ from Mr. Mitch Dangerman. Good to see him out there as well, cheering on the ODZ. Go PJ and WBR Kids Football stopping the Colonel Russ Cripps from being with you. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you tuning in, Colonel. And good to see you out there with the kids football though. And we'll be watching out for PJ and WBR out there today. I do believe you also have a representative there coming from France there with Alexis Luge, who's in the old school WBR kit as well. So we'll be watching out for what he can throw down out there. Bet out there saying sick pace. Go Matthew Burton from Team TFC, coming from Mr. Tam Burns. Recent announcement from Tam Burns about Team Worlds. Watch out for more on that, and in conjunction with Team TFC. Actually, we'll be watching out for Matthew Burton out there and see if he can hold on for a podium spot. I think he's been looking for that win for quite a while in these races. So love the pronunciation. It makes me chuckle. Sorry, I appreciate. Sorry about that. Mitchell, I'll work on Danger Man. Oh boy, go Jay Vanal. We're gotten from Klaus Vanna. Lots of cheering on today amongst the group. I love to see all of the Facebook comments coming through here. We do see Tim Cartwright here with an early attack though from the A category, and a little bit of a kick, gets some breathing room. Quick little 3 seconds with that 11 watts per kilogram. Actually, smart way to make an attack here and try and break things apart. He's probably looking for somebody to bridge to him and start to work with him, as it becomes extremely difficult to try and get away solo. We saw this on Tuesday actually from him and the Melting Man himself, Brandy Melting-Talo, where they attacked just a little bit off the front with one rider. Then another rider came through to him without actually pulling the group up. So they attacked into the orange numbers, 11, 12 watts per kilogram, got an immediate gap, and then they started working together in order to break off, in order to gain enough time on the pack that travels extremely fast. So if you have a few riders that can get organized and attack off the front of the pack, you can work against the current drafting dynamics with a large pack out on Zwift. But if anybody does just set a solid pace up at the front end of the group, like we're seeing from Innovation here with Gurney, knowing that they have a sprinter in and amongst the crowd there, that may be what they're up to here. Gurney, Richardson, Loke and the rest here may be trying to work for Kyle and set him up for a sprint finish, or maybe just are not in the right position to allow a guy like Cartwright to get away. So long way for me until I can make that wattage. Kudos, Mark Hoffman says. Mark Hoffman, there are actually, though, categories of all types out on Zwift, though. So let's go ahead and check out what's going on with the B and the C category. We'll jump in with them as much as we possibly can. We do have the B category riders here then making their way around for, I believe, their third lap out on course. We'll have to double check here for. I'm so glad we have that lap counter, actually, especially after last week out on the classic course, or last time out on the classic course on Tuesday where we miscounted the laps here. But we do have D. Aaron up toward the front, right along with Jedry and Reimer. So for the racing out on Zwift, some of you may not know, there are separate categories. There are A categories, B categories, C categories, and D categories that you can join. And so this is a part of the Zwift Academy races that you need to do 2 races as part of the Zwift Academy in order to complete it. And we do see a lot of riders out there doing that right now, and they all have a category available for them around their ability levels, actually. So here are the race categories that you can jump into. For your functional threshold power, 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher is going to be an A category rider that we've been watching with the likes of Cartwright and Garcia and MT Johnson with the ODZ boys, etc. But then in the B category, you've got 3.2 to 3.9 watts per kilogram, C category 2.5 to 3.1, and then in the D category 0 to 2.4 or so. And then what is your FTP? So a lot of times people don't understand what that is. What does that mean exactly, this ratio that I'm looking at here? Well, your functional threshold power is the maximum wattage that you can sustain for 20 minutes at a time. Your FTP is used in Zwift to determine your target power numbers for workouts. FTP accuracy is important to get the most from your workouts and racing, because then you know exactly what category that you should be jumping into. And it's the best for everybody involved in the racing if you jump into the correct categories. You're seeing here, if the A riders here at the wattages, like Mark Hoffman was saying, these wattages were to jump into a D or a C or a B category race, it would kind of ruin the racing for everybody else around them. But if everybody jumps into the correct category, then again, everybody has somebody around their ability level actually to ride with. So great way to do some awesome training around riders that are using tactics and pushing you while you try and hold on to their draft and attack them, etc. Cartwright reminds me of Drew Jin, Kravix is saying there. Interesting. Yeah, Drew Jin, one of the dominant riders there in the E-Crit, actually. I don't cover the E-Crit races. That's the awesomeness of Mr. Jesper Anchor as well as Wes Solzberger, but those guys do a great job and know all those names out there. But I know Drew was doing a great job in the E-Crit actually for quite a while. We are seeing Allenby here now going off the front. Gagnon now trying to follow that up 5 meters back. I've got Gagnon right, I think, there, Mitchell. I used to say Gagnon, and Gagnon like a canyon. That's where that came from, actually, as I got a little bit of feedback after a while. I think they were just chuckling at me for quite a while with Gagnon's name there, coming out of Canada there. But now Jay Hall up to the front, leading out the ODZ rider. 11.9 miles and almost 12 miles finished here. Out of the 23 that they will be doing today, I believe they're going to have 5 laps to go after this one. We'll have to double check that as they come through on the lap counter here. But it is all together again. There was an attack from Johnson and Cartwright, and they were able to get a little bit of a gap. They are starting to hit some lap traffic. Will hold things up a little bit out on course here. Kyle able to hang in. It looks like a little bit on course for those trying to get through them. As soon as you hit lap traffic, if your avatar, if you do not speed past some of those riders, Gagnon Arrow, he is definitely Arrow, a triathlete, a high-end, actually elite triathlete rider out of Canada. I believe he's won a fair share of triathlons actually in his area, so definitely looking to be Arrow. The Gagnon Arrow is out on course. Maybe we'll just nickname him right along with the Melting Man. Gagnon Arrow showing up. We'll see if he can get Arrow enough though to maybe get away with an effort here from the rest of the group. Johnson along with Boniface and Mr. Gagnon though are going to have to really play some team tactics to get away with the crowd like this. So it does look like we do have about 20 or so, maybe 25 riders even in and amongst this group still. Everybody able to hang on through the race here. Now we do have Jay Hall from the Zwift Academy. Not super familiar with this name actually out on course. Actually, so this is interesting. No previous races here actually from Jay Hall. So we can't actually click on his name over at zwiftpower.com. Some of you might be wondering, where are you getting all of this information from, Nathan, on the race and the results from the riders? I am actually using zwiftpower.com for all of these past results as well as live results right now. As you can see here, Jay Hall does not have a link on his name that I can click on. And so there are we do have a few past races though here. Interesting. So there is no registration for him. We have a 7th and an 8th for previous, maybe not races. They might have been group rides, but Jay Hall here with nothing that I can click on to see whether or not he's done any races in the past. It might be just somebody jumping in for a ZA requirement. Andvik here as well with nothing to click on. But if you do click on one of the riders links here, you can actually see all their past races out on Zwift. 77 races for David Allenby. I think he's got a few more than that. Took a 5th back in the KISS Europe actually on the 24th of August, as well as a 2nd here in the KISS Europe on the August 22nd. Dempster there from the BRT team as well. We're seeing 30 races coming out of Belgium here with a win on the 6th actually yesterday in the WBR Fat and a 13th and Tuesday as KISS Europe race. So there's some examples of how you can use the zwiftpower.com. For the current live results, we are seeing 4.6 watts per kilogram, 4.9 there from Gurney from Innovation, 4.9 from Jay Hall in order to hang on. So everybody in this group currently, all the way back to, it looks like about 34 places or so, putting out a solid 4.0 plus for the A category. So as it does advertise as 4.0 plus, and it is definitely not failing to do so. We are seeing some attacks now off the front here, though, with Gagnon as well as Parker. They're starting to break things up here, it looks like, and a few on the back here in a spot of bother now. Garcia there, 2.6 watts per kilogram, able to hang on, it looks like, just barely, but it's starting to get that spread out straight line. And when they get in that single file line, you know they're not really working together. They're just looking to hold on to the wheel that's right in front of them, because the power they're currently producing is just enough to hang on to the wheel immediately in front of you, so it starts to stretch out. Nobody's soft pedaling up front, so everybody starts to get behind the rider directly in front of them just to hang on to that power. And we actually are seeing some gaps starting to form a little bit here. Let's go ahead and take a top-down view here. There are 1, 2, 3 now off the back. A few of them may be lapped B riders. We'll have to take a double look here and see, but we are seeing, it looks like, Christensen here coming out of New Zealand there, just hanging on to the front end of this group with the ZA signification there. This actually may be one of the U23 riders we need to be watching out for there with that ZA badge. I do know that R. Christensen and D. Christensen, both brothers from New Zealand, and one of them is a U18. The other, I believe, is a U23, though. So be watching out for them. Able to hang out at the front end of these A groups. I'd definitely be somebody to keep an eye out for the U23, maybe talent identification program through the Zwift Academy, actually out on Zwift. We'll have to see if they can throw down for that Team Dimension data contract. I wouldn't be surprised if they are going after that with how many races I've seen them participate in out on Zwift. So looking through here, I am seeing Kev Stevens saying was only 23-year-old. You wouldn't have many folk. I was in one with 200 and not one person under 23. Kev Steven, I have a feeling there are going to be, I think they're flying under the radar. And I think, we got a U23 here, P. Christopher again, with it put in the name there. It'd be kind of cool calling out to all the U23s. If you guys, it'd be awesome if they identified themselves with that in their names, actually. That'd be actually pretty great for all of those who could be a part, because I think a lot of them don't want to call themselves out, maybe in text, or don't have the ability maybe to type during the group rides. Because we were asking, hey, I was running a group ride the other day for Zwift Academy, and I was like, hey, in chat, as the ride leader, there's chat that comes across the screen. I was like, hey, who's U23 here looking for that? We'd like to cheer you on and watch out for how you're going to do. And I have a feeling there were some of them amongst the group that just didn't have the ability to say anything. So we do have a couple here that are definitely a part of the Zwift Academy right now that are looking to maybe participate here. And if Christensen here, our Christensen here, is also U23, and he's sitting right on the wheel of P. Christopher here, this is going to be kind of interesting to see who's going to take the W here in this race right now, and maybe even a little bit of a precursor to the competition that we'll see for the finalists. It'll be kind of interesting as it starts to heat up, and that's part of the desire, I think, of the community, to see how things start to match up amongst the riders here and cheer on maybe your favorite rider for the finals as they come closer and closer. Nathan Gare, own up, who is young and wait, what's going on here? Too young to type and ride, Kev Stevens saying. And is this on Xbox? Kim Lil's asking, no Xbox. Kim's messing with us, Marty Henderson, because the Mixer's probably going crazy over there asking whether or not this is on Xbox. Mixer, which is one of the live streaming platforms that we are currently broadcasting on, has a live tab on Xbox, actually, which our broadcast goes out to. And so some of the viewers are watching currently on Xbox, and they ask a lot of times, is this on Xbox? It's actually extremely available to almost anybody who would have an iPhone, would have a Mac or a PC, and soon to be Android, actually. So I think they held off on putting it on Xbox because just about everybody with a bike and a trainer may have access to either an iPad or an iPhone or perhaps an Android in the future when it is available there, or a PC that could run it, as the requirements to run the program are fairly low actually for a computer. So dedicated graphics card for higher end graphics, but you don't actually need one in order to run the program. So what about PS4, Chris Bradley? No, it's not. It is not for PS4. Just the platforms that I currently mentioned out there. So I think I'm getting trolled actually right now a little bit in Zwift's Facebook right now. Parker here from the BRT team now, 178 beats per minute now, right along with Allenby up toward the front. Looks like Hitton's still in there as well. Gagnon, Augustine's made this front group. Burton's there. Richardson's there. Szerzynski there. And it looks like Hayes maybe dropped off from this pace. So I do believe we did have a split now of over 26 seconds, actually. That last time through, there was a kick into the volcano. 182 beats per minute here, currently coming from Christensen. I know he does beat like a butterfly. The young Hart here at around 199, I believe I thought him go into. 174 from Alexis Luge. Definitely up into the high heart rate for him. His max heart rate doesn't go much higher there. Allenby now with an attack. This is something to watch out for. 4.8 watts per kilogram or so. 168 beats per minute. Innovation trying to chase that down now at 5.8. These are moments of truth here for the racers, though, as we are seeing those heart rates way up into the threshold and over into those VO2 maxes right now. It's the preload, just like yesterday in the workout Wednesday, man. All these boys got that preload from that attack up and into the volcano, as Coach Hendy would say, and are trying to hold on as that heart rate got raised up, and they're right at threshold, even just right below, but still with that heart rate cardiac drift going on there. 166 beats per minute now coming from the Innovation boys, trying to chase down, get organized here, and bring Allenby back into full, but Allenby now going from way out, and I am wondering if Cartwright's just waiting for the moment to pounce and go right along with him, because this is probably exactly what the likes of Cartwright, Johnson, and the rest are looking for. If Innovation are playing some pretty strong team tactics here, they're just waiting to pounce and go with those orange numbers off the front and try and get a group established off the front one by one, not by dragging the entirety of the pack up to the solo rider. Any in real life races coming up, Nathan? That's a great question. Now that I started, after being at the race over in Iceland with the Wild Cyclothon and the CCP and Zwift team, I took a little bit of a break. I was up for 50 hours straight, and I think I had a little bit of adrenal fatigue after doing, I think it was like 12 or 13 FTP tests essentially. So I took a little break from racing and training seriously, but now Zwift Academy actually, along with the Coach Hendy rides, has motivated me to start getting in shape again. We might be looking out for some bigger events to do here going into the fall. Also, though, Lindsay had a concussion right around that same time. That has backed us off from racing a little bit. We do racing together, and since she is unable to race any longer, we've got to kind of reestablish how that's going to be working in our lives right now. But thank you so much for asking, Andrew, over at Zwift's Facebook. And I am starting to get motivated and now starting to reorganize how racing is going to fit into our lifestyle. So I appreciate the question there. Andrew, it looks like, Andrew Bakey, you're off the front. No kidding. Tim Cartwright here, 10 watts per kilogram with an attack, looking to counter Allenby there now, and it looks like he's able to go right on through a whole lot of C racers there with that arrow power up. If you're unfamiliar with what the power ups here, these are actually power ups that reduce the drag on your avatar here. There are also feather power-ups right along with drafting power-ups that you can use. But Cartwright here now, 6.1 watts per kilogram, grabs a solid, it looks like 7 seconds here. Allenby, knowing that that's a threat, the two time trial specialists actually. Allenby took, I think, an 11th place overall in the Elite National. I believe it was a time trial 10 mile, I believe. Nice job to him in that. So definitely a specialist that can get off the front. But Cartwright, I think he said, it was able to, I think, was was it a win or a podium? He gave me an answer the other day. Wish I actually had him in Discord, but he probably can't talk right about now. But he definitely had a solid result, though, in a little bit longer TT, though. I think it was like a 30K or something like along those lines. But definitely a rider who can just ride away from the rest of the group, even with the current drafting dynamic. So was it an under 23 race? Nathan Kev Steven is asking about me. If I'm racing U23, I definitely don't race U23. Oh my goodness. Not for Game Boy, Rob Bolt. How do you join Vision Sight and Kravix? There's lots and lots of, that's a question coming from Zwift's Facebook right now. So there are actually lots and lots of teams that you can join out on Zwift. And so you would just have to contact their director sportif, do a little searching through the Facebook groups. Zwift Racers is a great place actually for all things racing, for racing teams. But there's also a ability on ZwiftPower.com to register on there and then use that to say, I'm looking for a team on your profile. But definitely take a look at the riders that are on the different teams, contact them, get a hold of them, and they will point you toward their director sportif. Our director sportif with Vision Cycling is Quentin LaFay, but I do know that Rob Bolt, who's in the broadcast right now, runs the BRT team, the KISS Racing team. Definitely get a hold of Glenn Knight or a few of the others. Tim Cartwright right here out on. There's a lot of great teams to be a part of out there. Kyle Augustine, part of innovation out there. So, and these are all the racing teams you're looking at that are really focused on higher end racing. But then there's also teams out there that are focused on racing a little bit, but and have some serious racers out there like WBR you saw out there. But but they also do group rides that they run. There's also ODZ, high end racers in and amongst the group here. We'll give Cartwright a quick little ride on. That'll pop a little thumbs up over his head, go back into his pocket there. But there's also the ODZ team here who are very well known for running some of the best workout rides and group rides, and are extremely active in the community, but also have some high-end racers out there as well. So there's a lot of teams that have different focuses, and then there's also teams that have a focus on just doing chill group rides or workout rides as well. ZZRC is a great example of that. We pace not race with their sub 2.0 ride. I mean, there's a ton of great teams to be a part of out there actually that aren't just focused on racing, that have camaraderie and a group of people who've gotten together. So definitely do some research before you jump into a team out on Zwift. Thea Freestay, good to see you, says go ODZ, definitely a Zwift Academy participant and ride leader out there right now. Good to see you there, Thea, out in the broadcast. And it's been doing some great live streaming, actually. You want to check out Volume Fit. She recently launched a Facebook page all about leading group rides, it looks like, out on Zwift and giving good information for cycling and coaching. Is Cartwright's cadence real? 72 while crushing watts. He is a beast. Second, he said I just got information from Chris Orgo saying Cartwright finished second in the national 50 kilometer time trial. Actually, Chris Orgo said, so Cartwright definitely one of the stronger riders in real life. Actually be watching out for the virtual result out here today. 20 miles in total. 20 miles in total right now. I believe they're going to have one to go out on course here, but I may be miscounting my laps again. Getting distracted by all the chatting here, boys and girls. MT Johnson up toward the front from ODZ. It's all Grupo Compacto again. Nobody's been able to get away. Yes, they will have one to go. They will have one to go, I believe, after this, because there's still a climb. So we're on the penultimate lap here. They're going to do the little climb into the volcano, but it doesn't feel too little to the riders, I do not believe, as there is some serious waters that gets thrown down into the finish. We have neglected a little bit the B category and the C category. Apologies from the broadcaster here. Let's get into the B category in just a moment here after we see if there's any attacks that do go into this final. penultimate climb, into the volcano here. Cartwright now kicking again. This boy just does not stop here. 6.67 watts per kilogram now into the uphill gradient. And we are seeing 160 beats per minute here coming from the KRT rider. Allenby now 7.0 watts per kilogram right along with him. Innovation able to follow it up. All the power-ups being thrown down. You grab a power-up each time that you come through the lap banner or a start-finish banner or a KOM banner, sprint banner. All the banners that you go underneath do award a random power up here. We are seeing a drafting one here coming from Dempster now, throwing one down, maybe looking for another one that's a little more powerful when he does kick through that lap banner up ahead there. Dempster out of Belgium with a little bit of a gap now. Johnson trying to chase that down now. 4.3 watts per kilogram, 183 beats per minute. You know he's got over those handlebars, just probably not even looking at the screen right now, trying to just hold on to the kind of effort. Now up and out of the saddle again, 7 watts per kilogram. We're going to give him a ride on for this effort. Absolutely insane. They're making their way through some lap traffic out here as well, so definitely a lot of chaos as people are just trying to find the wheels out there. 1 to go out here on course, 1 to go for the finish of the race. Now Dempster there with 6.1 watts per kilogram. Allenby now 3.6 out there as well. We are missing Scotty Weiss out here today. Cravex, I'm not seeing them. I guess Alan Wright will win today. Tom Kalen, absolutely love it. So what's the prediction out there? Kalen is saying it's going to be Allenby or Cartwright. We'll have to see. ODZ has given them a run for their money. Last week, in this race, Johnson had an amazing attack with an aero power-up on the downhill and just blew everybody out of the water. And we had the likes of Allenby and I believe Cartwright in that race, so I wouldn't count them out. And we are seeing Go, Matt, and Alex, ODZ. See, Kev Steven has got that in mind as well. Go, Tim, just riding a casual time trial, Wim Baker is saying. So we've got a lot of different teams being rooted for here. Let us know who you think is going to win. We've got Kev Steven with ODZ. We've got Will Baker here with Tim Cartwright. We've got Kalen here saying it's going to be Allenwright. Well, it's Allenby or Cartwright out there as well. Let's see if we've got any other predictions here. Gavin Muskalski Lambert in the group. Yep, we are seeing Chelsea here cheering out Gavin. He was in the group earlier. I'm not sure that he was able to make the main group after the split. I'll double check for you, Chelsea, and see if we can find him out on course here. Allenby now off the front there, about 4 seconds though, actually. It looks like it may be a threat here with half a lap to go. I hope I'm correct here on the lap counts. We can't even get him right with the counter there. It is 22 miles in. I do believe they do complete to around 23 or 24 miles total out here, unless there was a miscount actually on the front page on the front end of the race though. So a total of 43 kilometers, 23 or 24 miles or so. Pierce Jasinski now chasing things down. They're mixed in with a bunch of B riders, so this is going to make things extremely confusing out here for the group, and there's just going to have to be an amazing effort from the riders trying to chase down Allenby here. Cartwright now seeing the threat, tries to make his way through the group here. With all the riders out on course, I'm unable to currently see, Chelsea, whether or not Gavin was able to make this main group. He was in there earlier. I'm going to check zwiftpower.com for you here real quick and see if he's been dropped off the back yet. Looking through, I am seeing that perhaps McCluskey is in the chase group. We'll definitely keep an eye out for him, though, out on course. We are seeing Burton there from the TFC team, though, is able to make it in there. Christopher U23 is still in there as well. Dempster there, as well as Anvik now. Szerzynski, and it looks like Jay Vanna now being cheered on, it looks like, by a few in the Zwift's Facebook chat as well. Szerzynski, Parker, Innovations there now. And they're all lining up now for the sprint as the lap riders from the B category are going to get a little bit of advantage. They're going to work their way through a few others. Gagnon like a canyon now making his way to the front. Johnson there, 4.0 watts per kilogram as well. As we look through some of the chat here, see if there's anybody else cheering. Go Tim from Dirk John Loss. Go Innovation there coming from Chris Orgo. So Orgo's looking for Innovation to take the W out there today. Tim's getting a few more cheers as well from Dirk John loss as well now. But now we are seeing MT Johnson with that classic attack we seen from him last week. Gagnon's going as well. This is coordinated, boys and girls. Actually, no, it's BRT and Cartwright now with the early kick, trying to make the legs hurt a little bit before they even hit the uphill climb here. Richardson now with Dempster. Parker there now. Richardson now 4.4 watts per kilogram. Innovation trying to set things up, and now Gagnon now 5.3 watts per kilogram. Here comes Parker from the BRT team for 11 watts per kilogram, 12 watts per kilogram. Early attack coming from him with that feathered power up right behind him, though. 13 watts per kilogram from the BRT rider. Will he be able to gain any kind of a breathing room? It is a 1 second gap. Nobody on his wheel. Looking over his shoulder there. I'm not seeing them close it down just yet as he enters the volcano. 10 watts per kilogram from the BRT rider now, and 11 at 185, but we saw a cadence drop there for a second there. Now Johnson trying to close it down. Johnson with the arrow power up into 700 watts. Matt Johnson is going to throw it down from the US of A, and ODZ trying to be caught by Dempster. It looks like BRT is fading now. 6 watts per kilogram is all he's got. Johnson with another upset. It isn't going to be all in right this week, boys and girls. Johnson to the line, and I believe, is that the W? He takes the W. It is the W, boys and girls. Sorry, with 1 lap to go. That was the final lap. It is not a 0 on the counter. Johnson again with the upset. Vanna, and then Parker. Is that the order? 1, 2, 3. And what an attack there from the ODZ rider. Matt Johnson able to throw down crazy wattage, perfectly timed. The second they came up and over the top of the climb there, he went all out with the arrow power up. He was saving that arrow power up for that moment. Threw it down, was unstoppable with about 11, 12 watts per kilogram all the way to the finish line. Solid effort there from the likes of ODZ. Set it up just perfectly. Great job out there today. Now, in the B category, though, we still have a half a lap to go, I believe, out there for the Bs now, as they are making their way to the line. I do believe we are at the front end with Sam Bacon out there riding for, it looks like, the Bacon. He's riding for the Beacon, boys and girls, out there today. 3 seconds up. I'm not sure he's actually a part of the lead right now, as I do see a few ahead of him, actually. So about 1 lap down, being caught by D. Aaron here, 21.8 miles in currently. We'll have to watch out for that. GG Matt there coming from a Team ODZ, and a good job to him over at Twitter. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys tuning in from Team ODZ. And if you want to throw any congratulations, or if you want to show us your setup and what it looked like for your racing, anything you'd like that to throw in that is relevant to the Zwift community today, go right ahead and tweet at us at Z Community Live. You can see just how ODZ did it there. It has to have, for us to pick it up though, it has to have at Z Community Live in it. You have to tag at Z Community Live, then we can pick it up and we can bring you right on into the broadcast with your setup, what's going on with Zwift Academy, anything that you would like to for the broadcast. Wow, Johnson, boom from Thea there, and unlucky BRT, great effort, Rob Bolt is saying, and that was a great effort from BRT. There was a solid attack. He got a good gap there, but was unable to hold it off for the W to the finish. Let's go ahead and double check the results currently. I am seeing Hagen here right along with Ignacio and Payne, I believe, up toward the front end of the B category, actually. So I do not believe I actually have, oh yes I do. I do actually have the front end of the race. It is going to be Aristegi right along with Payne from Innovation here. It has all gotten closed down for the final half a lap here for the B category. So let's go ahead and see how this is going to turn out. We are seeing Aristegi out of Spain here, making his way to the front, leading things out now as they do exit the volcano for the final time. They will enter it one more time on that uphill grind that we just saw the A category go right on into. The C category is also heating up, it looks like, here out on course with, I believe, 1 lap to go. We'll try and find those boys as well as we click through on our other feed to see if we can get in and amongst the C's and get you their sprint coverage as they finish up their race out there today. I think the C category is being let out currently as we look through here by our Anderson, but Anderson there with 4.8 watts per kilogram, buddy. 4.8 watts per kilogram. I'm going to show you real quick here, Anderson. Here's a nice little graph for you. 4.8 watts per kilogram. You're right in with the all-in rights, boys and girls. So definitely want to jump into that A category with that solid 4.8. R. Anderson there coming out of nowhere. Looks like a newer racer to the world of Zwift racing, though, as I do not see any past races from him. Right along with, it looks like P. Alcock as well. 3.8 watts per kilogram with a solid B category like effort there. So in the C's, there are a lot of upgrades today. So make sure to check your results. Now, I am seeing A. Robinson right along with Wiley, though, leading it out at about 3.1 watts per kilogram. I think the current leaders in that C category, everybody actually around Robinson and below is within category limits. So solid job there, you guys organizing yourselves and staying in the within the categories that you're supposed to be. So not too many actually at the front end of that C, about 5 or 6 though. Usually some newer racers in the C and D category that are trying to understand where they stand though amongst the rest of the group. As they head into this final climb though, here's the B category ramping it up now. I am seeing D Aaron now about 3.9 watts per hour, 188 beats per minute though. And now here comes innovation though with Rigdervold now, always with a solid sprint effort. Rigdervold now always one to watch out for in this B category, but here come the power-ups now as we are seeing Heed now up at the front there. And it will be Elias there. Payne, though, bringing the pain, though, but off the back a little bit. Not sure he's going to be able to close that down as we are seeing an arrow power up off the front there. Innovation there with Rigdervold now. Perfectly timed arrow power up. Now we are seeing the Viking man, though. It will be maybe innovation 9.8 watts per kilogram, but we've also seen Valenzuela here now off the back though. Not actually, he's actually a lapped rider. Rigdervold though with 9 watts per kilogram, it looks like will be able to take this. Rigdervold may be able to close it down, but perfectly timed arrow power up from Rigdervold. Innovation will take the B category win out there today, followed by Rigdervold, and then I believe it is Worthington for third place in that for that BRT team out there today. Solid effort all around for them for sure. Nice job out there. Rigdervold and looks like Rigdervold both also part of the Zwift Academy. So good to see them out there getting their Zwift Academy requirements done. The KISS races, so these KISS races that we did broadcast, the Tuesday and the Thursday, were a part of your 2-race requirement in order to finish the Zwift Academy. That's why you do see a lot of the ZA badges out there right now. You can still sign up all the way through the 15th of September. So you have a few days to do so in the 6-week program. If you're unfamiliar with what the Zwift Academy is, the largest, looking to be the largest online training community in the world, and also a talent identification program. The Zwift Academy is 8 workouts, 5 group rides, and 2 races. Everybody who completes it on the men's and the women's side unlocks a special in-game kit, actually. And then the top 10, though, from each of the programs for the U23 and the men will advance to semifinals, and each will win a tax trainer and more gear from at that stage. 3 finalists then in the men's side will go to the Team Dimension Data in Cape Town from those top 10, and 1 rider will be selected for a pro contract next year on the U23 continental team as U23. For the women's side, it's open to all women and 10 riders as well for the semifinals, but no U23 cap on that finalist. For the Canyon SRAM team, then training camp in Spain, and 1 rider will be offered a pro contract then for the Canyon SRAM team next year. So go ahead and sign up for Zwift Academy at academy.zwift.com. We are trying to find the front end of the C category still out here. We are looking at our winner here in the B category, Rigdervold. Solid effort for them. As I look through for the C's, though, we'll see if we can find them. I'm thinking the leader currently out there today, it's all kinds of broken apart, so I might not be able to find them. Romanella, though, it looks like coming out of Germany, I believe, is the current leader out there without an over category limit. I am seeing it looks like Arga here. I am finding quite a few of the C category riders, I think, making their way to the line here. Vander is there as well. Arga from the PTZ team now. Up ahead, though, we'll have Millward from the TFC right now making his way into not quite the final lap just yet, actually. So maybe maybe getting lapped by a few of the riders. We do have Kay Ruff, though, from Vision Cycling, finishing out in the B category. Maybe we'll just keep an eye on these B category riders as they're making their way to the line. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to cover the C category just yet. Broadcaster tools. It'd be amazing if I could just click a button and be like 1, 2, or 3 for, well, that's currently the camera views, though. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 right now. 9 for the overhead there. And then, for those of you who don't know, 0. For those of you that don't know, those are all the different camera views. And if you push 0, it actually locks on to the current view that you are panning through. So there's a lesson learned for anybody looking to get your broadcasting skills or just looking for different camera views out on Zwift. How I click through for the camera views is by either clicking on the avatar and then go ahead and pushing the buttons there in order to grab those views. We are grabbing the pan view and then locking on Papa here as he's going to try and throw down on the Vision Cycling rider here. Will he be able to do it? And it looks like Vision is dropped off with Horton there. Good to see Scott Horton out on course there, but our Papa there out of Japan. Actually, no! Horton there with just nipping him at the line. I talked too early. It looks like he was able to actually grab that last spot. Nice job to Horton. And Vine crossing the line with one leg go, it looks like there for him. And it looks like Hodgson maybe. We're not gonna go for it. I don't believe I'm gonna be able to find the front end of the C category, so we'll go ahead and leave that alone. But let's go ahead and take a look at the results here from ZwiftPower.com as they are populating. We are seeing that. Let's go back on over what happened in the A and the B category today. I am seeing Cohen Van Geit actually from TKBE. So I think we have a little bit of mix up here for the results. So we're going to go ahead and not look at the results from ZwiftPower.com right now. But what we can do is take a look at what the Zwift Academy is all about. On Tuesday, we looked at the men's side for the promo that was made for that. But for the women's side, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened last year with the Zwift Academy for the women and give you an idea of what's going on for the Women's Zwift Academy and how you can sign up for that. Some great stories there as well.
Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
So still time to sign up for Zwift Academy. A lot of people, there were a few maybe confused that there may have been a cutoff for September 4th. The cutoff is actually September 15th. So lots of time to sign up for that and get into the largest training community online and help support the Quebec Foundation as well as the training community on the women's side with Canyon SRAM. So I'm Nathan Guerra coming at you from Zwift Community Live. If you have not done so already, you can follow us over on Facebook where we are, as well as Mixer, Twitch, or YouTube. Or just do it at all of those, and you'll be able to get updates anytime that we load a new video and go live. Next up, we will have, I believe, tomorrow a workout, or part of the Zwift Academy workouts, actually. I believe Zuskana is going to be running that tomorrow. And watch out for next week's schedule because things are about to get crazy. We got a lot coming at you. So make sure to hit those follow buttons and watch out for the new schedule to be released next Monday, I believe. I'm Nathan Guerra coming at you for ZCL, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more Zwift Community Live, highlighting the Zwift community. Great job to all the racers, as always, out there. And as always, a big old ride on.